We are live in San Francisco having a great time. Look, we're 4 days away from the Super Bowl. We're going to enjoy ourselves and take you along with us. I am on a real-life cable car, also known as the trolley. And I asked one of the fellas that's in charge of running this trolley, hey, does anyone in San Francisco eat rice-a-roni? You know, the San Francisco treat? He laughs and says no. It's a marketing ploy. They don't eat that here. Anyway, WFNY News 2's Ben Powell has a little story about Panthers mania that's taking over the country. Go! Live here on the trolley in San Francisco, Megan and Karen are here, and you saw me, and you're from Greensboro. What'd you say?
WFMY?
See? We're all around the country, baby, WFNY. It's fun. But on a more serious note, Cam Newton this week has been talking a little bit about being one of the few African-American quarterbacks that have made it to the Super Bowl, and he talked a little bit about what it means to lead his team.
I don't even want to touch on the topic of black quarterback because I think this game is bigger than black, white, or even green.
So Cam said we often limit ourselves when we label ourselves. I think he's getting tired of answering the same questions about being an African-American quarterback. But former quarterback Cordell Stewart and legendary quarterback Dan Marino weighed in on this topic.
It's about what you do, your performance, who you are.
And Cam, you know, he does say he really relishes the opportunity to be a role model, and it's a privilege for him to be a voice for people that might not otherwise have a voice, and I don't think any of us would argue with that. We've got plenty more live coverage from the San Francisco, from the trolley, coming up. All right, so it's a phenomenal story, the whole Fat Baby thing, but can you tell where I am? This is the famed Lombard Street, the real crooked street in San Francisco. We've been riding the trolley all throughout the show, and this is where we've stopped to show you. You see cars going past me as they go around the undulations here. You can even see the Transamerica building, which is that triangular pyramidic looking thing. And then that's the Bay Bridge, which is the bridge between San Francisco and Oakland. Gorgeous view of the Bay here. But back to Josh Bush. Talked to his mom. And then I asked sports anchor Liz Crawford to ask Josh about his Fat Baby nickname and his addiction to candy.
So your mom revealed a couple things.
Oh, wow. All right, so a whole lot to talk about, Jewel. I just bumped into a couple of ladies from Winston-Salem. One just graduated from App, the other from UNC. They're here looking at Lombard Street to my left. Over my right is Alcatraz there in the middle of the bay. Now, no one in their right mind would try to escape from that thing and try to swim in that cold water, but you know, I heard that someone, at least more than one, tried. Not a good idea. Speaking of crazy ideas, who would fly into San Francisco and stay here just for 12 hours? Well, it did happen. I bumped into two brothers from North Carolina who did it today on the San Francisco transit system called BART. Take a listen to these guys. So how early are you going to?
A few drinks. We'll sleep on the plane on the way back.
And there are two young ladies from Winston-Salem. They did not try the 12-hour thing. They came here a week ago, immediately after the NFC Championship game. They've got a friend here in town, and they said, look, we're going to stay in San Francisco for free. Why not make it a blast for a couple of weeks? Now, the brothers we talked to, the Graves, they've apparently done this before since Dietrich works for an airline, and who can blame them? A one-day adventure of a lifetime. Who knows when the Panthers will be back in the Super Bowl, Jewel? It's Colorado versus Carolina, and my friend Kyle Clark at KUSA, our sister station in Colorado, is trying to convince me that their slopes outdo anything we've got here. So I'm going to show him it's all about college basketball. Colorado or Carolina? We've got Duke UNC, the Battle of the Blues, Tobacco Road, the greatest rivalry in college basketball, bar none. Roy Williams, Coach K, more wins than Dan Issel. Do you guys even have college basketball? Oh, your greatest coaches in Nuggets history, George Karl and Larry Brown? UNC grads. And I didn't even get to MJ, Stephen Curry, James Worthy, Sam Perkins, you know, the list goes on. But to try and prove me wrong, Kyle is going to the slopes.
Colorado or Carolina? Wins.
All right, whatever. I mean, try skiing for 4 months, and that gets old. Whatever. College basketball wins. I say round, 5 goes to Carolina. Jewel, what do you think? Them were saying they didn't want to talk about it because they would tear up. I'm going to share their story a little later on this week, but a little later tonight, I'm going to show locals how to Dab. Don't go anywhere.
You're going to school them. Thanks.
We're live in San Francisco with the best Super Bowl coverage from the left coast, standing in front of the Bay Bridge, which runs between Oakland and San Francisco. Hey, you either know how to dab or you don't. And I think we all agree, it ain't that hard. So can I teach San Franciscans how to dab? Make sure you come back to see this after the break. We've seen old people dab, we've seen kids dab. You know what, if you live where we live, you know how to dab, even if you don't have the courage to dab. Here's Liz, we're gonna dab, dab, dab. I mean, it's easy, right? So today I went on the San Francisco subway system called BART to teach San Franciscans how to dab. Can I get you to say, go Panthers? Oh, you're a Seahawks fan, right?
Yeah. But all right, go Panthers. All right, go Panthers.
All right, will you dab?
Will I? Oh, is that the crabbing thing or?
Let me show you what the dab is.
All right, what's the dab? No, I won't dab. What the hell is that?
So can you dab? You just tried. Can you dab?
I don't know, is that dabbing? I don't know.
It's more like this.
There you go.
I'll give you a 5 out of 10.
All right.
Let's try the dab here. All right. Score! You'd be surprised how many people are actually rooting for the Panthers in San Francisco, and I figured out why. They don't like the Broncos around here. So, as one guy told me, anybody except the Broncos, and he was a park ranger. They're friendly to everybody, Jewel. They don't want to see the Broncos win the Super Bowl.
Wow. Well, you need to find the park ranger and you need to teach him to dab too as well.
And you'll get no complaints from me on that, and not much to complain about at all in San Francisco when you're seeing phenomenal views like what we're seeing on this tour we've taken. This is the second tour, in fact, we've taken on one of the double-decker buses, so we're going to take you along with us on that. We just went through the Tenderloin district, heading to the Financial district, and when we get to some of the more familiar landmarks, we'll show you. But the most unique and awe-inspiring experience I've had on this tour today was our time this morning in Chinatown. This is something you've probably never seen before. This is dried mushrooms. I'm here in Chinatown at the Market District, and I was trying to find someone to speak English, and there are not a whole lot of people that speak English here. But as you can see, the culture is they come here in the morning and they pick up what they need to cook that evening or probably the next day or two. Fresh fruits, obviously you have your mushrooms. They have dried mushrooms, a lot of dried stuff, even a lot of frozen fish and a lot of fresh chicken. So Tanya, honestly, I visited Chinatown today at your request. You told me about the Chinese New Year, great call. And I'll tell you, I mean, it was just a phenomenal experience to take in the culture, I mean, it was virtually like going to China. Never been there, but no one was speaking English, and they were going about business like nothing you would see in what you would call contemporary, modern American culture. They have their own thing going, and it was beautiful to see. And you know, Jewel, firsthand, you used to live in this area. This is a beautiful city, first class, cosmopolitan, a whole lot of culture, man-made and natural beauty. And we're here on a double-decker tour bus. We took this bus earlier today to take you around town, to take you closer to the landmarks you're used to seeing on TV, one of which is Fisherman's Wharf, where we're stationed right now. And here, I'm going to show you the sea lions of Pier 39. So here's one of the coolest scenes here. Fisherman's Wharf, sea lions, live sea lions, basking in the sun, jumping in and out of the water. I mean, the man-made and natural scenery of San Francisco are stunning. So you have the pier here, Pier 39, where you see the sea lions. Then, of course, you've got the Golden Gate Bridge, which you can see from the pier. You can also see Alcatraz from the pier. And in between both of them, that beautiful mountain ridge off in the distance, just beyond San Francisco Bay. And Fisherman's Wharf, of course, has plenty of seafood, plenty of restaurants. You can buy fudge, chocolate, all kinds of different things here. It is a tourist dream. I took a ton of great photos from the wharf, put them on Instagram and Twitter. You can check those out, and I've got even more that I'm going to share throughout the evening. And don't forget, you can watch us here live while we're doing this, or catch up on some of the things we're bringing you online, and you can use even our WFMY News 2 app, so you can download that right now and check it out. Yeah, we're live here in San Francisco on the double-decker tour bus, seeing the city. This is great. But the question becomes, what do you value more, right? Lifestyle or history? It's hard to compete with the tale of two very important brothers who put North Carolina on the aerial map. Colorado or Carolina? Airplanes? No Carolina? No friendly skies. The Wright brothers taking flight from Kitty Hawk and never look back. So North Carolina, we've got history on our side, but Kyle Clark in Denver says his state's known for healthy lifestyles, and I guess that's more fun or something?
Colorado or Carolina?
So you promote your state by saying we have a low obesity rate. Ding, ding, ding. Round 6 goes to Carolina. Done.
Oh, Frank.
So I'm here in Super Bowl City. I'm going to tell you a whole lot about Josh. This is just a little bit of what you're seeing here. Interactive stuff. I'll explain all of this throughout the afternoon. Back to Josh Bush, though. Josh is from Lexington. He is now a backup safety for the Broncos. One of the joys of this job is to kind of answer that question, who are these guys? I mean, who are they really? These modern gladiator millionaires are really just like you and me. I went back to West Davidson High School and talked to teacher Kathy Kuntz about Josh Bush. Josh played football at West, went on to play at Wake, became an All-American, now plays safety for the Broncos. And she remembers a lot about him. In fact, she told me he was an artist. His art teacher still keeps some of his artwork around, and you're looking at it. Ms. Kuntz and I shared a laugh when she described Josh as a quiet student.
He's shy. I think his major from Wake was communications, and he doesn't really talk that much. So we've given him a hard time about that. He's done a lot of things for people in this area that people don't know about, and he doesn't want people to know about, so he continues to give back.
So Ms. Kuntz actually attended Josh's wedding. She says one of the coolest parts of that was meeting none other than Jonathan Stewart with the Carolina Panthers, who was one of Josh's groomsmen, and they're going to meet on the field this weekend. We're going to share a little more about that relationship a little later on today. But at the reception, he had a table full of candy that people could stuff bags and boxes with and take home because he's a fan of Skittles, of all things. This is looking thing, but look, over here where I am, a hand bike, and I wish I could show you my brute strength right now, but I'm working, so I'm not going to do that. But you'd be surprised at how many people are coming here to have fun like this and go to the Super Bowl from 2,700 miles away in North Carolina. In fact, we met a couple who are from Winston-Salem, a couple ladies who got here last Tuesday, but they're leaving on Super Bowl Sunday before the game.
Sadly, we actually have a flight back on Sunday. I know, we booked it on the wrong time.
It was from that snowstorm because we were supposed to be gone the 31st, and then we got 2 extra days out here as a result of the snowstorm.
Told you. Yeah. Oh, see, I'm breaking the machine. I had to stop. So the young ladies are thinking that they're going to not even go all the way back to Greensboro. They're going to stop at their layover in Charlotte and then go have a good time and play around and have fun if the Panthers win, and then find a ride back to Greensboro. I think that's not a bad idea. San Francisco has been quite the colorful background for what is the biggest sporting event on the planet. City Hall here, just one example of that. And this spotlight has taken one of our own from a town of fewer than 4,000 to the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the one and only Josh Bush. Josh Bush, a Broncos player, plays safety. Also from West Davidson High School. He's gone from the country to California, but to his coach, Josh is still a student and a friend.
This is actually one of my favorite photographs of all time.
A quiet joker.
You can see Joshua sitting on the front row just smiling.
3 words Coach Dale Barnes uses to describe a young man who means so much more.
Right now, he can't be number 5.
So he retired Josh Bush's jersey.
Right now, number 5's out. No telling when it'll come back. We don't know if it will, don't know if it won't. We don't need it right now. We got other numbers. At the time, it was really cool to have number 1, a kid that graduated from Wake Forest University. He was All-American at Wake Forest University and drafted in the NFL. It was really cool. So we want to find a way to put this in front of the students at West Davidson and allow them to walk in here every day they come into lunch.
Admiration and friendship.
Picture over here, Joshua gave it to us after his first year in the NFL with the Jets.
That goes both ways.
He brought it to me. I mean, that's the kind of kid Josh is.
Josh made a name for himself as a small-town, do-it-all athlete. a West Davidson Dragon on the baseball diamond, the track, and yes, the football field, where he played wide receiver, safety, and quarterback. As a sophomore at West Davidson, he tore his ACL, refused to have surgery, and played several games in a knee brace.
We saw him have some big plays and do some things, but number one, he was a great teammate. How caring he was about his other teammates and how much his teammates respected and cared about him.
Bush left the halls at West to become a standout safety at Wake, a third-team All-American with 6 interceptions his senior year. He's since played for 3 teams over a 4-year NFL career, currently in his second stint with the AFC champion Denver Broncos, but never too far away from his hometown coach.
Talk to him about his money. Be careful with your money, be smart with your money, keep your money put away because you got a short time to earn money in this side of life.
A lifestyle Josh has worked hard to reach even after he was cut and had to come home and train for a second shot. Now that shot has him suiting up in the biggest game in the world, his coach watching and cheering the entire way.
And it's a great sense of pride. Really gives you a weird feeling inside. We're Carolina Panther fans, that's no doubt, but you know, next Sunday when they play, I can't lose.
From the country to California, and Coach Barnes perhaps said it best, and I'm going to quote him here. He says, "Good people have good things happen to them in life." And I asked him how he'll feel if Josh and the Broncos upset our Panthers and he lifts the Lombardi Trophy. He says it's hard for him to imagine because he already feels like Josh has won because he's so close to him. So here we are in California. We're 2,700 miles away from Panther Nation, and when you're that far away, you need a home away from home, and we've got one, and it's packed with Thurs fans. I'm talking about Green Sports Bar on Polk Street here in San Francisco. Walls and the ceiling all plastered with all things sports, but there's an entire section reserved as Panthers Avenue. And we found fans from Wilmington, Salisbury, and Charlotte. We even talked to a Jamestown native and the waitress who takes care of our fans each and every game day.
It's been really impressive. And walking around the city today, there was a lot of dabbing on the street. There are a lot of Panther fans here. On the flight over from Charlotte, we had a huge crowd that was singing Sweet Caroline and dabbing the whole way across the country.
You've been through the bar already, so you can kind of see it's not that big of a bar, but we split it in 2. The upstairs area is kind of my area, and then another waitress takes over down here, but that gets packed. Probably about 100 people.
So Shannon, the waitress, told me about 3 years ago they only had a few fans, and she challenged them to get more fans in the house, so they went on Yelp and called it a Panthers bar, and the crowds have only grown ever since.